Hello everyone, this is Stella, and before you click that purchase button on your Christmas flight booking, I need you to stop everything and listen to what happened to Margaret Thompson last December. Margaret, a 69-year-old retired librarian from Tampa, booked her Christmas flights to Seattle in July, thinking she was being smart by planning ahead. She found what looked like a great deal on a popular travel website, clicked purchase, got her confirmation email, and felt proud that she'd organized her Christmas trip 6 months early. December 23rd arrived. Margaret showed up at Tampa International Airport at 6 a.m. for her 8 a.m. flight. She approached the check-in kiosk, scanned her confirmation. The screen flashed red and displayed, "This reservation was automatically canceled due to non-payment." Margaret's heart stopped. She rushed to the ticket counter in complete panic. The agent explained that the third-party website she'd used had a payment processing error 3 months ago. They'd sent an email to an old address Margaret rarely checks when she didn't respond. Within 72 hours, they automatically canceled her reservation. Every flight to Seattle for the next 3 days was completely sold out. It was December 23rd, the second busiest travel day of the entire year. Margaret stood at that ticket counter sobbing. The agent could do nothing. Margaret spent Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and December 26th alone in her Tampa apartment, watching her daughter's Instagram stories of her grandchildren opening presents, playing in the snow, having Christmas dinner, all the moments Margaret had planned for months to be part of, all destroyed because she made one critical booking mistake in July that she didn't discover until it was too late. Margaret's tragedy wasn't bad luck. It wasn't a fluke. It was the predictable result of not knowing the 7 critical booking mistakes that destroy senior holiday travel every single year. And what makes me absolutely furious after 15 years working flights is that airlines, booking websites, and travel companies profit enormously when seniors don't know these rules. They design their systems with traps that specifically target uninformed travelers. They hide critical information in tiny print. They use confusing interfaces. They create policies that seem reasonable but are actually designed to fail you at the worst possible moment. Today, I'm revealing the 7 critical mistakes seniors make when booking holiday flights. Mistakes that happen during the booking process itself, not during travel, not at the airport, but right now when you're sitting at your computer deciding which flights to buy. These mistakes cause seniors to miss Christmas entirely, lose thousands of dollars in non-refundable bookings, or discover on travel day that their reservation doesn't exist. And every single mistake is completely preventable if you know what to watch for before you click purchase. So if you're planning to book holiday flights within the next few weeks, stop right now. Watch this entire video first, because what you're about to learn could be the difference between spending Christmas morning with your grandchildren versus spending it alone crying in your living room. The first critical booking mistake that destroys Christmas for seniors every year is using third-party booking websites instead of booking directly with airlines. And here's why this seemingly convenient choice becomes a disaster. Third-party sites like Expedia, Priceline, Kayak, and dozens of others add a dangerous middle layer between you and the airline. When something goes wrong, and trust me, during December, something always goes wrong, you're trapped between 2 companies that will blame each other while you miss Christmas. Last December, a 72-year-old man named Robert Hayes from Phoenix booked his Christmas flights to Boston through a third-party website to save $47. Seemed like a smart financial decision in September, December 21st. A massive snowstorm hit Boston. His December 22nd flight was canceled by the airline. Robert called the third-party website to rebook. They said, "You need to call the airline directly for weather cancellations." He called American Airlines. They said, "Your booking was made through a third party. You need to work with them for any changes." Robert spent 4 hours being transferred back and forth. By the time he finally got rebooked, the only available flight was December 26th. He missed Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, and Christmas dinner with his daughter and 2 grandchildren, all to save $47 in September. But here's what makes third-party bookings even more dangerous. They often book you on what's called basic economy, without clearly explaining the restrictions. You can't select seats in advance. You board last when overhead bins are full. You can't make any changes without massive fees, and most importantly, if you have any mobility issues or need special assistance, Third-party bookings make it nearly impossible to add these services to your reservation. I've seen seniors arrive at airports with third-party bookings, unable to add wheelchair assistance, because the booking interface won't allow it. They're forced to walk through massive terminals in pain because they tried to save $30. Always book directly through the airline's own website or by calling the airline directly. Yes, it might cost $30 to $80 more, but that extra cost buys you direct access to customer service when things go wrong, the ability to add wheelchair assistance and special services easily, priority when rebooking during cancellations, and the peace of mind that there's no middle layer blaming the other company while you miss Christmas. During December, that direct relationship with the airline is worth far more than the money you save. The second critical booking mistake is choosing flights based purely on lowest price, without understanding what you're actually buying. The cheapest flight option almost always has hidden restrictions that will destroy your holiday travel experience. And during December, these restrictions become disaster multipliers. 3 weeks ago, I helped a 68-year-old woman named Barbara Martinez who had booked the absolute cheapest ticket from San Antonio to Denver for Christmas, saved herself $89 by choosing a basic economy fare. What Barbara didn't understand, because the booking site buried it in tiny print, was that basic economy means you board in the last group. You cannot select your seat in advance. You cannot bring a full-size carry-on, only a personal item, and you absolutely cannot make any changes or cancellations for any reason. December 20th. Barbara's husband had a minor heart attack, not life-threatening, but he needed to stay in the hospital for observation. Barbara needed to either cancel her trip or change her flight dates. She called United Airlines. They explained, basic economy tickets are completely non-refundable and non-changeable under any circumstances. You'll lose the entire $287. Barbara had two impossible choices: abandon her husband in the hospital to fly to Denver for Christmas, or stay with her husband and lose her money and miss Christmas with her daughter. She stayed with her husband, obviously. She lost $287, and she spent Christmas in San Antonio, missing her daughter and grandchildren, all to save $89 when she booked. When booking December flights, you must look beyond the price and understand exactly what you're purchasing. Regular economy or main cabin allows you to select seats in advance, bring a full carry-on, make changes with fees usually $200 to $300, and request special services. Basic economy is cheaper, but traps you with zero flexibility during the exact time period when you need flexibility most. If anything changes with your health, your family's plans, or weather causes disruptions, you're stuck. During December, you must prioritize flexibility over price because the risk of losing everything is too high. The third critical booking mistake is not understanding airline alliance partners and code-share flights. This is complex and confusing, which is exactly why airlines don't explain it clearly, and it causes massive problems when seniors need help. Here's what happens. You book a flight on United's website. You think you're flying United, but the actual flight is operated by Air Canada or Lufthansa, or another partner airline. This is called a code-share flight. United sold you the ticket, but they're not operating the plane. When you need to add wheelchair assistance, request special meals, or make changes, you end up in a nightmare loop of, "That's not our flight. Call the operating carrier." Last Christmas week, a 71-year-old woman named Dorothy Hamilton booked what she thought was a United flight from Chicago to London to visit her daughter. The booking confirmation said, United Airlines everywhere. What Dorothy didn't notice in tiny print was operated by Lufthansa. Dorothy has severe mobility issues and uses a wheelchair. She called United 3 days before departure to confirm wheelchair assistance. United said, "That flight is operated by Lufthansa. You need to call them directly to arrange services." Dorothy spent 90 minutes navigating Lufthansa's international phone system. Finally got through. They said the wheelchair request needed to be made at least 48 hours in advance through the original booking airline, which was United. Dorothy was trapped in a circle. The wheelchair assistance was never properly confirmed. She arrived at O'Hare. No wheelchair attendant was waiting. She missed her flight trying to navigate the massive terminal alone. Spent Christmas in a Chicago hotel instead of London with her daughter. When booking flights, look carefully at the fine print that says operated by. If you see any airline name other than the one you're booking with, be extremely cautious. Call the airline directly before finalizing the booking and ask specifically, will this entire journey be operated by your airline or are there code share segments? If there are code shares, ask exactly how to request wheelchair assistance and special services for those segments. Get confirmation numbers for each request. Verify everything in writing. Code share confusion during December can destroy your entire trip. The fourth critical booking mistake is not paying attention to departure dates versus arrival dates on overnight flights. This confuses seniors constantly and causes them to book the wrong dates, miss flights, or show up on the wrong day. December already has confusing dates because Christmas Eve is the 24th and Christmas is the 25th. Add overnight flights that depart on one date and arrive the next date, and disaster is inevitable. Last December 23rd at Los Angeles LAX, a 70-year-old man named James Peterson arrived at 10 p.m. for what he absolutely believed was his December 23rd red-eye flight to New York. His family's Christmas Eve dinner was December 24th at 6 p.m. He'd carefully planned to arrive in New York at 6 a.m. on the 24th, giving him the full day to rest before dinner. James approached check-in. The kiosk said, "Flight not found." He showed his confirmation to an agent. She said, "Sir, this flight departed last night, December 22nd at 11:59 p.m., arriving December 23rd at 8 a.m. You missed it by 24 hours." James was absolutely convinced he'd booked for the 23rd, but the flight that departs 11:59 p.m. on the 22nd and arrives 8 a.m. on the 23rd is technically a December 22nd flight. Even though it lands on the 23rd, James was confused by overnight timing. Every flight to New York on December 23rd was sold out. He spent Christmas Eve alone in Los Angeles, arrived New York on December 25th after Christmas dinner was over. When booking overnight flights, pay extremely close attention to which date is the departure date, not the arrival date. If you want to arrive on December 24th morning, you need to book a flight that departs December 23rd night. Immediately after booking, verify the actual departure date and time on your calendar. Set a phone reminder for the correct departure date, not arrival date. Take a screenshot showing both departure and arrival times clearly. This seems basic, but overnight flight timing confuses thousands of seniors every December. The fifth critical booking mistake is not immediately confirming seat assignments after booking. Many airlines now don't automatically assign seats when you purchase tickets. They make you go through a separate process to select seats. If you don't complete this step immediately after booking, you might show up at the airport and discover you don't have seats on a completely full flight. Last December 20th, a retired couple, Helen and Thomas Rodriguez, ages 70 and 72 from Seattle, booked flights to Miami for Christmas with their daughter. They purchased tickets online, got confirmation emails, assumed everything was set. They never clicked the link to select seats. December 20th, they arrived at the airport, checked in at the kiosk. It printed boarding passes that said, "Seat assignment at gate." They thought that was normal. They got to the gate. The gate agent announced, "This flight is completely full. Passengers without assigned seats need to see me." Helen and Thomas approached. The agent said, "I'm sorry, we have no seats available together. I can put you in middle seats in different rows, or you can take a later flight." The next available flight with seats together was December 22nd. They either fly separately on their original flight or wait 2 days. They chose to wait. They missed their daughter's Christmas Eve party, arrived exhausted on the 22nd. Immediately after booking any flight, do not close your browser until you have confirmed seat assignments. If the booking process doesn't automatically assign seats, there should be a link or button to Select Seats. Click it immediately, choose your seats, take a screenshot showing your seat numbers, verify your confirmation email, include seat assignments. If it doesn't, log back into your reservation and complete seat selection. Don't wait. Don't assume it will happen automatically. During December, flights fill up fast, and if you don't grab seats immediately, they'll be gone. The sixth critical booking mistake is booking connecting flights during peak holiday travel without understanding the disaster multiplier effect. Every connection is a point of failure. And during December, when one flight delays, it creates a cascade of missed connections that can strand you for days. Last December 22nd, a 73-year-old woman named Margaret Wilson from Sacramento booked the cheapest option to get to Tampa for Christmas. It included 2 connections: Sacramento to Denver, Denver to Dallas, Dallas to Tampa. Total travel time 11 hours, but she saved $127 compared to the direct flight, December 22nd. Her first flight was delayed 45 minutes. She missed her Denver to Dallas connection. Dallas to Tampa was sold out. The rebooking put her Sacramento to Phoenix, Phoenix to Atlanta, Atlanta to Tampa, arriving December 24th at 11 p.m. She missed Christmas Eve entirely, arrived exhausted after all the traditions were over, spent 3 days navigating airports, all to save $127. When booking December flights, prioritize direct flights, even if they cost $100 to $200 more. One direct flight eliminates all connection risk. You can't miss a connection if there isn't one, if no directs exist and you must connect. Only book connections with minimum 2 hours between flights. Never book connections with separate tickets on different airlines. Because if you miss your connection, the second airline owes you nothing. Book everything on one reservation on one airline. The extra money for direct flights or safer connections is the best insurance you can buy for December travel. The 7th and final critical booking mistake is not purchasing proper travel insurance immediately after booking, and by proper I mean comprehensive coverage that includes weather cancellations, medical emergencies, and cancel for any reason. Most seniors either skip insurance completely or buy worthless basic policies. Last September, a 68-year-old man named Vincent Torres from Miami booked Christmas flights to Seattle to see his daughter and granddaughter. Total cost $847. The booking website offered travel insurance for $28. Vincent read, "Covers trip cancellation." Thought that sounded good. Clicked yes. November. Vincent had a mild stroke, recovered, but his doctor strongly advised against flying for 3 months. Vincent called to cancel his Seattle flights. American Airlines said, "Non-refundable tickets. You lose the money." Vincent checked his travel insurance. It said, "Pre-existing medical conditions are excluded from coverage." Vincent's stroke was considered pre-existing, even though it happened after booking. He lost $847. His daughter spent Christmas without her father. You must purchase comprehensive travel insurance within 24 hours of booking your flights. The policy must include cancel for any reason coverage, which typically costs 8 to 12% of your trip cost. For a $2,000 trip, that's $160 to $240. Expensive? Yes, but it protects you from everything. Weather cancellations, medical emergencies, family emergencies. Even if you just change your mind, read the entire policy before purchasing. Look for these specific phrases: cancel for any reason, weather-related delays and cancellations, medical emergency coverage, pre-existing condition waiver. If the policy doesn't say these exact things, don't buy it. Cheap insurance that doesn't actually cover December disasters is wasted money. Now here's your complete step-by-step booking process to avoid all 7 mistakes. Step 1 before booking anything. Decide your must-arrive by date. You want to be at Christmas destination by December 24th. Plan to arrive December 22nd or earlier. Write this down. Step 2. Search for flights only on airline websites directly, not third-party sites. Look for direct flights first, if none exist. Find connections with 2-hour minimums. Step 3. Look at economy or main cabin options, not basic economy. Compare prices but prioritize flexibility over savings. Step 4. Click through to the booking page. Read every line of text carefully. Look for phrases like operated by, basic economy restrictions, seat assignment. Verify departure dates match your intentions, especially for overnight flights. Step 5 before clicking purchase. Verify total trip cost, includes seat selection, checked bags if needed, travel insurance cost. Step 6, click purchase. Complete the transaction. Step 7. Immediately without closing browser, click seat selection. Choose your specific seats. Screenshot the confirmation. Step 8. Within 24 hours, purchase comprehensive travel insurance with cancel for any reason coverage from a reputable company. Step 9. Set 3 calendar reminders. 72 hours before departure, verify flight dates. 48 hours before, call airline to confirm wheelchair assistance if needed. 24 hours before, check in online. Step 10. Print physical copies of everything. Confirmation, seat assignments, insurance policy. Keep in folder. The difference between spending Christmas morning watching your grandchildren open presents versus spending it alone crying because you can't get there comes down to making smart, informed booking decisions right now before you purchase. Airlines and booking sites profit massively. When you don't know these 7 mistakes, they design their systems to trap uninformed travelers. They hide critical information. They offer false savings that cost you everything when disaster strikes. They're counting on you to click purchase without understanding what you're really buying. But now you know exactly what to avoid. If this video stopped you from making a costly booking mistake, hit that like button right now, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss next week's video about the 10 things you must never do at the airport during Christmas travel. Share this immediately with your parents, grandparents, anyone over 60 planning December travel. One share could save someone's entire Christmas. The booking process is where Christmas gets destroyed. Protect yourself by booking smart. This is Stella. And please, don't click purchase until you've verified everything I've taught you today.